You're watching South Asia Newsline and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Monday, the 21st of April. US Vice President visits India, calls on PM Modi amid tariff tensions. India slams Bangladesh over killing of Hindu minority leader. And Sri Lankan President calls Easter attacks greatest tragedy used to seize power. And now for all the details. Amid ongoing trade war tensions, US Vice President JD Vance, accompanied by Second Lady Usha Vance and their children, arrived in India on Monday. Their first stop was the iconic Akshardham temple, where the family admired the temple's intricate carvings. Later in the day, he held a meeting with PM Modi to discuss key issues including trade relations and defense cooperation between the two countries. A report.
Amid the trade war tensions over tariffs, American Vice President JD Vance, accompanied by Second Lady Usha Vance and their children, visited India and made their first stop at the iconic Akshardham temple in New Delhi on Monday. Vance, who is on a 4-day visit, later in the day met Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and held talks as New Delhi rushes to avoid steep US tariffs with an early trade deal and boost ties with the Trump administration. Modi and Vance reviewed progress made on the bilateral agenda outlined in February when the Indian leader met President Donald Trump in Washington. It included fairness in their two-way trade and growing their defense partnership. The Indian Prime Minister was one of the first world leaders to meet Trump after he took office. Their discussions covered the first day of Vance's largely personal visit to India with his family, which includes visiting the Taj Mahal. Vance's wife, Usha, is the daughter of Indian immigrants.
And amid strained ties with Dhaka, New Delhi this past weekend launched a scathing attack on interim government after a minority leader was killed in the country. The second such statement within 24 hours, India accused Dhaka of systematic persecution of minority Hindus in the country. A report.
India this past weekend slammed the interim government in Bangladesh after a prominent minority Hindu leader Bhabesh Chandra Roy was abducted and killed in northern Bangladesh. In a sharply worded statement, India's Foreign Ministry spokesperson, Randhir Jaiswal, condemned the incident and said the recent killing follows a pattern of systematic persecution of Hindu minorities under the interim government, even as the perpetrators of previous such events roam with impunity. He said New Delhi wants to remind the interim government to live up to its responsibility of protecting all minorities, including Hindus, without inventing excuses or making distinctions. The statement on Saturday was the second such remark by New Delhi, targeted at the UNIS government in a span of 24 hours. Earlier on Friday, India had hit out at Bangladeshi officials after they made references to developments in West Bengal, and had said the remarks were barely disguised and disingenuous attempt to draw a parallel with India's concerns over the ongoing persecution of minorities in Bangladesh, where the criminal perpetrators of such acts continue to roam free. Instead of making unwarranted comments and indulging in virtue signaling, Bangladesh would do better to focus on protecting the rights of its own minorities. The statement by Foreign Ministry said,
तो ये जो लीडरशिप जो है हिंदू लीडरशिप है या जो माइनॉरिटीज का जो लोगों को नेतृत्व दे रहे हैं उनके जब लीडर को ही इस तरह से किसी को कैद में रख दिया जा रहा है किसी की हत्या कर दी जा रही है ये जानबूझ के कर रहे हैं उनको टारगेट की वो जो बाकी माइनॉरिटीज हैं वो एकदम डर जाएं और वो जो भी चाहते हैं उसके सामने वो लोग अपने आप को सबमिट कर दें
इंडिया हैड टू रिस्पोंड पब्लिकली because what is happening in Bangladesh is that, and let me make it very clear, I do not believe that the Bangladesh government or any government anywhere can control the action of all individuals. But when such despicable actions take place, it is for the government to take prompt action. Now in this case, as far as I have been able to learn from the news channels, Bangladesh government has failed to take prompt action.
Bangladesh has, however, dismissed the allegation as baseless. Close aide of Muhammad Yunus and his press secretary Shafiqul Alam said the interim government doesn't practice government-sponsored discrimination and protects the rights of its citizen, regardless of their religion. Relations between New Delhi and Dhaka has been largely lukewarm for over last few months, after Sheikh Hasina, a close ally, fled to India, with Muhammad Yunus taking the reins of power. Following her ouster, the country has seen attack on minorities, especially Hindus who are considered close to Hasina's Awami League. India, which has the largest Hindu population, has repeatedly raised concern over the attacks, with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi also raising it during his maiden meeting with Yunus on the sidelines of BIMSTEC summit earlier this month.
Meanwhile, Bangladesh National Central Bureau has submitted a request to the Interpol seeking a red corner notice against Sheikh Hasina and 11 other individuals. The Daily Star, a Bengali daily, has reported. Quoting a police official, the media report suggested the request was made to Interpol based on appeals received from courts, public prosecutors, or investigating agencies. Notably, in November last year, the Chief Prosecutor's Office at the International Crime Tribunal has asked the police headquarters to request Interpol assistance in arresting Sheikh Hasina and other fugitives. Hasina, who ousted after a mass uprising against her, has been residing in India since August 2024. Bangladesh earlier in 2024 had requested the extradition of the deposed Prime Minister from New Delhi. However, India is yet to take any action on the request. An Interpol red notice is not legally binding on India, which can decide based on its laws, extradition treaties, and political considerations, and if issued for Sheikh Hasina, India is unlikely to act, given the political nature of the charges against her.
मेरे विचार से तो ये जो भी इन्होंने इशू करा है, इंडिया उसके साथ नहीं जाएगी, नहीं जा सकती, क्योंकि इंडिया ने, हमारा जो पोजीशन अब ये हो गया है कि शेख हसीना को हमने शेल्टर दिया हुआ है, तो अब हम मेरे ख्याल से अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ स्टिक करेंगे. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि आपने फ्रेंड इन नीड इज फ्रेंड इन डीड और फिर उसको छोड़ दिया बाद में. तो जो भी कदम इस तरह के बांग्लादेश उठाएगा, आई थिंक भारत उसको कंप्लीटली नकार देगा.
And a Christian man accused of blasphemy in the eastern Pakistani town of Jaranwala will appeal against a death sentence handed down by an anti-terrorism court, his lawyer said this past weekend. The 36-year-old man was convicted of blasphemy over allegations he had desecrated the Muslim holy book, the Koran, claims that fueled attacks on Christian neighborhood in 2023, in which hundreds of houses and churches were torched and thousands of people forced to flee their homes. We will file an appeal in the High Court against it, his lawyer Akmal Bhati told Reuters, referring to the verdict delivered on Friday night. Blasphemy is punishable by death in Pakistan. No one has been executed by the state for it, but numerous accused have been lynched by outraged mobs. In the southern city of Karachi on Friday, a mob of 100 to 200 people beat a 47-year-old Ahmadi owner of a car workshop to death with bricks and sticks. Ahmadis are a minority group that have faced attacks in Pakistan, considered heretical and accused of blasphemy by some Orthodox Muslims. Moving on, the Taliban's acting foreign minister Amir Khan Muttaqi expressed concern and sadness during a rare meeting with his Pakistani counterpart Ishaq Dar over the deportation of thousands of Afghan refugees. The Saturday's meeting came amid Pakistan's ongoing deportation drive, which has expelled over 80,000 Afghan nationals since late March. Muttaqi expressed concern and sadness over the expulsions, urging Pakistan to respect rights of the refugees. The talks also covered security, border management and trade, with both sides agreeing to case financial transfers for returning Afghans. Islamabad has accused Kabul of sheltering Islamist militants involved in attacks in Pakistan, a claim Afghanistan denies. The visit marked the first by a Pakistani foreign minister since 2022 and signaled a thaw in strained ties, which have seen border closures and deadly clashes. And Sri Lanka's President Anura Dissanayake described the 2019 Easter Sunday attacks as the greatest tragedy ever carried out to seize political power, as he addressed a rally on Sunday, pointing to a politically motivated cover-up that followed the deadly bombings. He accused previous administrations, both the one that came into power in 2019 and the one that succeeded it, of deliberately avoiding justice. The motive behind the investigations over the past 5.5 years was not justice, but to conceal the true masterminds, Dissanayake said. He said the current government is committed to accountability. In a significant move on Sunday, the report of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry was formally handed over to the CID, the Criminal Investigation Department, for further probe. The blast claimed by militant group Islamic State targeted 3 churches and 3 luxury hotels, killing more than 260 people. The incident raised serious concerns over national security, intelligence failures and political manipulation. And as after Nepal Police detained the top leadership of pro-monarchist party RPP for violating restricted zone entry during their protest, RPP Chairman Rajendra Lingden along with 6 other leaders were released by the Nepal Police. According to reports, Lingden and other royalist leaders were arrested for defying prohibitory orders as they staged protests inside Singh Darbar, the administrative area in capital Kathmandu, to demand the reinstatement of monarchy. Amongst those arrested were Lingden, Vice President Buddhiman Tamang and Chief Whip Gyanendra Shahi, apart from half a dozen leaders. The RPP has been waging a legal and political struggle for the unconditional release of party leaders Rabindra Mishra and Dhawal Shamsher Rana. Mishra and Rana were arrested following a deadly violence on March 28 for inciting a mob. The violence had claimed lives of 2 people, injuring over 100 as the capital witnessed arson and vandalization. The party, since its inception, has been supporting Hindu state and the kingship as interdependent in the tiny nation, buffered between 2 giants, India and China. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.